Hi, I'm Charlotte from youngandsensible.com, and today I'm going to be continuing sort of the Building a Budget series that we've been doing and talking about different active budgeting options. And each of the three that I'm going to talk about briefly today are ones that I've used. I would definitely recommend experimenting with different ones and finding one that you like, because honestly, all of them work well, and really it's just finding one that you'll actually use and that really works for you. So the first one that I want to talk about is sort of the cash envelope system, and there are definitely a lot of people who like using this system, recommend it, and it works for them. It's actually something that Dave Ramsey talks about a lot, and what it is once you've set a budget, sort of making different envelopes for the different things in your budget that you're going to use cash for. So say eating out, entertainment, clothes, that sort of thing, and then placing the amount of money that you've budgeted for the month into each of those envelopes. And then basically you can spend what's in there, but once there's no more cash in there, then you can't buy anything out of that section. And for any of you that have looked at my personal budgeting sheet, you probably noticed that there's a section for checking in there and then a section for cash, and that's actually because I originally wrote the budget with sort of an envelope system in mind. So obviously there would be some things that I'd be buying online or that would be coming out of my bank automatically, and so those ones I wasn't going to put $1,000 for car insurance into my cash category. But for me, I found that I had loads of different envelopes and I was sort of switching money around sometimes, and I realized that actually I didn't need as much hair stuff, which is totally fine. Your budget shouldn't be so set in stone that you can't be flexible if something comes up. But at the same time, it was, yeah, definitely a lot of stuff, and so I didn't really prefer it. But that's just me. The second option that I also know a fair amount of people that use, and that I used some my freshman year of college, is using an online tool like mint.com, and basically setting up how much you want to spend and then only using your debit or credit card that's attached to it, and you can attach multiple ones in sort of your bank account. So this would be the opposite. You're not using cash almost at all, because mint.com can't track your cash unless it won't do it automatically. And then mint.com will automatically sort things, and sometimes it does it better than others. I've had a few purchases where I'm like, that's definitely not fast food, that's like my textbook. But it does pretty well on putting things into the different categories, and it will text you a reminder that like you budgeted $60 for clothes this month and you've already spent $55 or something, just that you can have it set to tell you when you're like low on a certain budgeting option. So that's a little bit more passive, but it definitely works for a lot of people. So I also recommend looking into that. And then the third option, which is actually the one that I currently use, and it's, well, I don't know, yeah, but it's probably the most time consuming. But for me, it's just been really beneficial in keeping track of things, and I find that I use it, and that's sort of using an Excel spreadsheet and keeping receipts and paying attention to what I've spent. And I normally enter in the receipts into each of the categories every week, or at least every 2 weeks. And I sort of use a combination of receipts, and every once in a while, if I've not gotten a receipt, then also looking at my bank statements, and making sure that my receipts match up with my bank statements, because every once in a while your bank will make a mistake and you want to make sure to catch that. But using that system really allows me to understand how much I'm spending. I have it set up so that it'll tell me how much I have remaining in a certain category. If I see that like I'm really going over in a certain category, I either think about maybe that I need to return something or that I just need to adjust my monthly thing, but it just allows me to get really a full picture of it. So I really like that system and definitely recommend it. But yeah, I really suggest looking into all of them and finding one that works for you. And if you have any questions, you can of course email us or comment on the website. But yeah, thanks for watching.